Welcome to Perimenopause Weight Loss and Wellness, the podcast for women over 35 who are ready to stop guessing and start understanding what really is happening to their bodies. I'm your host, Anastasia Bennett, registered clinical nutritionist specializing in perimenopause, menopause, weight loss, and gut health, and someone who's been through early perimenopause myself. Whether you're struggling with stubborn weight, fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, poor sleep, or just looking for strategies that work for this stage of life, you are in the right place. Grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome to my podcast. And today I have Kate Twigg with me, co-owner of O-Studio in Wellington. I met Kate at one of the events that we did for breast cancer, and both of us were on the panel. And I thought her story is so amazing and fantastic journey is with huge resilience. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to have Kate here on podcast. And I was about to cancel this podcast today because I have massive migraine, but I thought, no, we have to go ahead and record this because it's great. And I really wanted for Kate to share her story, and also to talk to us a little bit about what O-Studio does and how sauna and cold plunges and all breath work and all of that cool stuff beneficial for us as women. So a little bit about Kate. After facing 2 cancer diagnoses and undergoing a stem cell transplant, right? Her perspective on health changed completely. And that experience inspired her and her husband, Sam, to create one of the franchise, am I saying right? Franchise, O-Studio in Wellington, a space that really focused on recovery, movement, helping people to feel their best, both physically and mentally. And I think we all need that space in our lives. And so today we're talking about how Kate's experience shaped her getting into O-Studio and why recovery deserves as much attention as exercise, and the science behind the therapies like sauna, cold plunges, float therapy, and recovery lounges as well. And we'll talk a little bit about recovery and why it's so important, especially in perimenopause and menopause, and how women can use those tools to support their health. So Kate, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
So tell me, your health journey inspired everything that O-Studio Wellington has become. So can you tell us briefly how going through cancer changed your perspective on health and how it's led into you and Sam opening branch in Wellington?
So I would say that I was a completely different person before cancer. I was someone who was on the go all the time. I liked the idea of always having something to do, and felt that I needed to always be having something to do. I think there was a little underlying tone. I didn't realize that at the time I was a stay-at-home mum, but I felt like I couldn't just be a stay-at-home mum. I felt like I had to tell people that I was doing this and this. So I created a lot of the busyness, I think, myself, which I've now come to realize. But I was fully into that. And I was also a drinker. At the time, I didn't feel like I was a big drinker, but I definitely, now looking back in, realized that I was.
Yeah.
And I think there were quietly little things along the way that my body was trying to tell me. Definitely, things like vertigo, dizziness, just constantly being slightly off or getting lots of sore throats or run down or being sick. And I got an underactive thyroid and then got the autoimmune side of it. But I just kind of was the person who was like, tablet, give me whatever to help me sort this out and I'll just keep going on my way.
Yeah.
He ate pretty well, and I think that was my fallback was, I'm quite a healthy, conscious eater. So I think I just relied on that thought that nothing would ever happen to me. Yeah, and then obviously I was diagnosed with breast cancer and my whole world came tumbling down, mainly because I didn't have any tools to help me go through something big in my life.
Yeah.
My life had been great. I thought I was living this amazing, incredible life of fun and parties and all sorts of things. I we weren't like massive party, but it was definitely there. Yeah, social. And yeah, so this big thing happened and I was like, how do I get through this? Like I don't even know where to turn to. I don't even know where to go. I've got nothing. And it all started actually my sister, my dear sister, who looked after me a lot when I was going through cancer, Andrea. She said to me, I've got a friend who does breath work. Do you want to try it? And I said, I'll try anything at this point. And I did it. And sick, sore throat, not being able to make any decisions, just going, what the heck is happening here? And I cried all the way through it. And at the end of it, I came out and I could make decisions. I was like, I'm going to fight this. This is not going to define me almost immediately. And then I started thinking, wow, that's crazy. Like, how did that change so much? And I guess that's where my sort of journey on the wellness path took place. I think when you're faced with potentially death or dying or thinking that that might be your
scary.
Yeah, I also know with my ADHD, and now I credit, and I'm always like, yay for ADHD, because my doctor said to me, Kate, I could have told you years ago you had ADHD because the way you hyperfocus during cancer. So I left no stone unturned, and I just tried everything and anything, and then realized that what I had been doing was fine up to a point, but I've never had anything in my life where I needed to use tools. And I think when we come to our 30s to our 40s, 50s, when suddenly we've got businesses, we've got teenage kids, we've got elderly parents, we start to, see these things, people, friends, our parents' generation, they're dying. And suddenly these big things in life happen and we're like, oh, how do we cope with all of this? Because a lot of it was alcohol, I think, for me. And that's so alongside going through cancer, I realized that, I was also trying to give up alcohol, which had become a very big part of my life, big part of my coping mechanism.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? I always say with my clients as well is that your desire for change has to be stronger than your excuses. And I think until something this happens, that's when you suddenly go, okay, now, like desire to leave is stronger than excuses like, oh, it's only one drink or it's only two drinks or whatever. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, so as we going through the life, like recovery and taking care of the body and having saunas and, doing different things for our bodies kind of got forgotten. I think in the past it was more around. And I know, like, I didn't grow up in New Zealand, but like sauna and cold plunges was always part of our branding. So it's not new to me. But I think I would say in the last 10, 20 years, it hasn't been around as much. It's coming back now, which is great. So we do talk a lot and we spend a lot of time talking about exercise and nutrition, but recovery kind of gets forgotten, especially in this busier lifestyle. So why do you think recovery is important? Like, especially for women juggling busy lifestyles and work and families and everything else?
Because I seriously believe we were brought up in a generation, our parents, our mums were brought up in a generation where there's this sense of urgency to always be somewhere and do something and have it there and have this perfect, everything looking amazing, and the house has to be beautiful. So we run around and we run around and we run around and we tell ourselves these stories and we create this urgency inside ourselves. And suddenly we're getting to this point in our life where we've never actually sat still. We've never actually spent any time and I'm not talking about like getting home and watching a movie or like intentionally taking some time out for yourself every day so that you can show up in family life, work life for your elderly parents. I liken it to this bucket analogy, and I think, I'm not sure who did it, but I should quote this. You've got a bucket, you've got all the things in life, but kids, something bad happened at work, you left something at home, and it just builds and builds and builds. And unless you poke holes in those buckets, and I think to some degree we do, because women go, oh, but I go to the gym and I do this and I do this, but they're all things that still require you to be on the go. There's nothing that you poke a hole and go, when do I just get to sit and recover and give myself that time and energy to be able to cope with all of that? So if we don't poke the holes with that intentional stillness, then it just overflows. And then we end up in chronic this and, and we just, the recovery side of it. Like I've got a lady who came into O-Studio the other day and she is a mum, just was like, I'm doing everything right. I'm going to the gym 6 times a week. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I said to her, when have you given yourself time to just chill, just to sit and just, so she started doing dry float recovery lounge, which is the compression pants and saunas. She is like a completely different lady. And she said, I had no idea that stopping was going to make me feel better. I thought I just had to keep going.
Isn't that funny? I actually, I thought maybe it's part of ADHD, but I think it's actually must be some sort of childhood trauma because I feel guilty if I stop. I feel like I'm useless and I constantly need to be doing something. It's like I never sit and watch TV at home. The only time I do watch TV is when I have my sauna because I have sauna at home. We've got it actually during the lockdown. Best investment ever.
Yeah.
It's every night, everyone had dinner, kids had baths, whatever. Everyone sit down, do whatever they need to do. I'm like, I'm going to sauna. Yeah. Non-negotiable. Every single night. I'm like, see you later. I'm in there half an hour. You don't need to have a half an hour. You need 20 minutes. After that, there's no real benefit. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to sit here in peace by myself. I'll hide in the sauna from everyone.
Saunas is one of the things you can do for yourself. Like you said, it was around years and years ago, and somehow it just got lost in all the technology
business.
And busyness that's come out, and then suddenly no one had time to saunas. But I firmly believe that everyone will be putting saunas in their house, which is fine. I think O-Studio will still have its place because it's the connection and it's the community and
it's a community.
You have to turn on that sauna yourself and you can just rock in and leave your towel there and whatever else. But the guilt thing is a really big thing. And back in the day, our parents were very much just come on, keep going, keep pushing, keep getting on with it because that's how they were brought up as well. And it's we have to stop there and we have to, I'm always saying to my girls now, well, you should know, you just listen to your body. Like what's your body telling? What's your body telling you now? What's it saying? Telling you to rest or is it telling you to go out and play basketball? Because if it's telling you to rest, then just rest. Just go and have a sleep half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up in Russia, but I moved into New Zealand 23 years ago. And so in Russia, sauna is a big part of it. And it's more socializing thing where like my granddad, he's old, like he's 93, but he doesn't have many friends left now because they're all dying slowly. But even before, it was every Sunday, it's a boys thing because I'm not sure about now, but in the past, saunas were separate for males and females because you go naked, so they don't mix them up. And so it was like a boys thing that they would do, the boys, and they go and they play cards and they have a few beers and like they have a sauna and they have food. It's a thing that you do on Sunday with the boys, or girls go separately and do the girls thing. And that's quite cool. And because there's so many benefits in sauna, especially to cardiovascular, right? Benefits and detoxing and like good for mental health. There's so many things, which is fantastic.
I just said to my 2 daughters of 15 and 13 this week, I said, guys, if you just do anything, just do 2 saunas a week. That's it. Like if you can come out of your teenage life with that habit, you've always got stillness, you've got the detoxing, you've got better sleep, you've got mental health, and you can meet friends on it. Like it's a no-brainer for me to tell people to just do a sauna twice a week.
Yeah.
And benefits for like Alzheimer's, for everything. It's so strong now. Alzheimer's is like massive. You do have to do a few more, like 3 to 4, I think.
Yeah.
40% reduction in all mortality.
Yeah.
By doing
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And that's Yeah, and that's why I stick to having saunas. I'm like, that's me. I'm doing it. And when we went to Finland, was it last year? I think last year, January. Yeah. In our accommodation, they have saunas in the bathroom. So you walk into the bathroom and at the end, like you've got shower, you've got sink and the toilet. And then at the end of the room, it's like full on steam sauna.
Wow. Yeah.
In accommodation. I'm like, this is heaven.
Yeah, so good. And yeah, I just feel like, I mean, the other services that we've got as well are just designed for people to slow down. Like our dry float is one of the most popular and our wet float, but our dry float at the moment is just so amazing because it's 30 minutes. You don't have to get wet or anything. You just like a big water bed, like the 80s water bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call it a warm hug for the nervous system. Because you go in, you lie on it, you push the start button, you sink down, you just get enveloped in this nice warm water. It's weightless, and you put the headphones on and you have like half an hour to yourself just to do nothing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And loads of people who are really busy in their work, busy. I actually hate the word busy. I call it my day is full or I've got a full day.
Yeah.
Because I feel like busyness has been taken and used constantly, even if you aren't busy. Does that make sense? So talking about how they've had a really busy day, but actually it wasn't
productive.
It wasn't that busy. There was just a few things going on, but it's because it becomes like this like thing of, I'm busy. I do heaps of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, tell me a little bit about cold plunges. Like, so it can look really intimidating. Are they really worth it? Like, I know the answer for what I grew up on, but like, I really want to know because from your perspective and opinion, because it's a big part of your business and offerings, like what benefits have you seen in your clients and like, is it worth it?
100%. So, but I always say to people, there's ways of like I can get anybody in an ice bath because it's all about your breath work. So if you don't think that you can get in an ice bath, come and see us and we will get you in because it's just how you breathe. I've got every single person in doing this and at the end of it they go, oh wow, that's actually that bad. Because what we want to try and avoid is the feeling that most people do because they feel unsafe or they feel, so it's all in your breath work and things. But yeah, there's a lot of scientific stuff around like, should women do it and should they do it? There's times of the month where they shouldn't, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me more?
Yeah. So just just before your period and during your period, no, your body is already working hard enough, to do what it needs to do in that situation. And so it's probably not the best time to do it. And I would also recommend starting we've got an ice bath that's 11 degrees and we've got one that's 6 degrees. So I don't do the 6 degrees one, I do the 11 degree one. If I do the 6 degree one, I don't feel that good afterwards. So some people are like, oh, I didn't feel that great afterwards, but maybe that was just because they went in the too cold because, people like to get competitive with themselves.
Yeah.
Or maybe they've stayed in too long. I mean, ultimately, you only need to go up to here. All your main organs are just underneath here. So that's so you can sit with your hands out, your arms out, you can work your way in. It's pretty much like anything that you do, you have to train yourself to do it. You have to start small, start slow and work your way up and don't be, people often go, oh, but everyone else can go in for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. It's not a competition and you've just got to really listen to your body when it comes to the ice. Because sometimes I just go, oh, actually, no, I don't feel like doing the cold today and that's okay.
Yeah. Can you tell me, is it good or not good for anxiety? Because a lot of women in perimenopause experience anxiety due to drop of progesterone. Would that be, how when you experience anxiety, face into cold, frozen water actually can snap you out of it and, well, not snap you out, but make you feel a bit better. Yeah. Is it the same would they be beneficial, or should you stay away from it?
I don't think you should not stay away from it, because you never know until you try it. Like, we've got women that come in and just swear by the ice bath. And for someone with ADHD, the ice bath is like the ultimate, because it gives you the biggest amount of dopamine you can get from any natural source, and it lasts for a really long period of time. For me, who's got ADHD, I'm like, well, that's my natural dopamine. I'm not going to go and search for it scrolling on my phone or something else. That's going to help me across the period of the day to stay focused and calm. And yeah, it's basically what it's doing is it's teaching you to stay in stressful, and same with the sauna, where it's hot and it feels uncomfortable, because I get so many people saying to me, the cold's not for me, or the heat's not for me. And basically I just say to them, well, that's just the story you've told yourself over the years, because it's hard. Because it feels hard to you for whatever reason, or you've convinced yourself that the cold's not because you don't like the cold. But it's not that you can't do it. You just have to train yourself to do it.
What about for people that, have a lower blood pressure, and how
definitely
the cold plunges can affect that, right?
Yeah. So low blood pressure, essentially, you're getting really, really hot in the sauna, then you go to stand up, your blood pressure drops, and then there's a chance of you, fainting or whatever. So we always recommend people get their doctor's advice around that. That said, we have people who have low blood pressure who sauna. They just go in for very shorter amounts of time. So, some sauna, we recommend that 10 to 15 minutes and then up to 2 minutes in the ice bath. But for someone with low blood pressure, we would make sure that they had electrolytes beforehand, that they've eaten, that they go in for 5 minutes, they come out, they sit down, they have more water, they check in on themselves, they see how they're feeling, and then if they feel okay, they could head back in. And you would do that really gradually, really slowly for a longer period of time, so that your body becomes more used to it. Yeah. It doesn't just mean blanketly that you cannot do it.
Yeah. Well, I have low blood pressure. It's normally like 60, 90. That's my normal pressure. And I had to condition myself into sauna. That's why I can sit in there for half an hour, but I wouldn't recommend it, right? And even that, when I finish and I'm like, okay, I have to slowly stand up and reassess how I'm feeling. Like, am I okay? Or am I feeling fainty? Or do I need to sit down? Or if I'm starting to feel a little bit off, like just open the door and the cold air comes in, I'm like, okay, I'm all right now. And it's all good. So you kind of have to reassess, definitely.
You wear a sauna hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say, because the sauna hat really helps people as well. And
to
really
cool down.
Stay in longer, because they don't get that really intense heat on their head. And so, I recommend that.
Yeah. The question I was going to ask and I forgot, when you got diagnosed with cancer, have you had your vitamin D checked, and was it low?
Yeah, I always have my vitamin D checked.
Even before cancer?
I can't remember whether it was or not, actually, but I take vitamin D now. Yeah. Are you finding that that's a common?
I'm feeling very, not just hardened by New Zealand health system in some ways, but I had to fight to get my vitamin D checked. And even when I had it checked again this year, because I just don't absorb it well, I have to take supplements, like prescription all the time, because it's low. And when I first time asked for it, they had to go, let's check this and let's check that and this and this. I'm like, why is it so hard to check my vitamin D?
Yeah.
Like, I have all the symptoms. Why are we not checking? And then even this year, when I went and doctor done the subscription, I showed up to lab and they were like, oh, you have to pay $120 something. I'm like, why? I've never paid. And they're like, oh, because doctor didn't write that it's, I'm like, but I've been checking it for the last how many years, because I've always been deficient. Like, and she's like, well, you need to go back. And I'm like, I'll just pay. Because I know it's going to be low. I feel like it's low and I'll need my prescription and I don't want to stretch it out for another week. And it's interesting. And I see a lot, with my clients, because I work with a lot of women that for some reason, I get a lot of clients that had cancer in the past, and they all go, I'm taking lots of vitamin D now, and it was low in the past.
Mm.
And that's why I was like, I wonder if there is, a big connection in that.
Yeah, I can't remember, but maybe.
Anyway, so like, what would be your advice if someone goes, okay, I need to start take care of myself, but I don't have much time. If I needed to do something recovery wise, what should I start on? Like you mentioned the sauna.
First of all, I would tell them, what do you mean you don't have time? Like, what is your priority? Is priority to feel good? Then you make time. Time is such a time and money are two things that we struggle with here in New Zealand, especially women, I think, because back to the guilt feeling, we don't like spending money on ourselves to feel, which to me now just feels so weird. Like if I'm going to spend money now, it's going to be on me to feel good so that I can show up for everything else the best possible me. But we always put work first, family first.
Yeah.
We don't put ourselves first. We just have never done it, and it's very hard to try and convince people. But if you spend the money and the time on yourself, what will that give you back in return?
Yeah.
And so that would be the first thing that I would try to get them to just ask themselves a few questions, like, why am I not spending time on myself? Why am I not allowing myself to spend some money on myself? Because once we get curious with those questions, then we start to pull out some things that we're like, okay, well, maybe this has come back from here. Maybe this started ages ago. Maybe I need to revisit that. Then I would say, if health is your priority and you really want to feel good, then come to us and try. We have a O-Discover at O-Studio, which is 3 sessions, a breathwork class, which is obviously the thing that I started with, that I just think every single person should be doing, because we do not allow ourselves to let go of grief or trauma or anything like that. And that kind of stuff sits in our body and it gets stored. And so breathwork at the end of the week to just let it all out and let it go. Whatever's happened at the office, whatever's happened at home, whatever's happening in your life, whether it's grief, whether it's you've just lost your job, whether you're being made redundant, I don't know, whatever it is, breath work can just make space to let it go. So you can do O-Discover, which is 3 sessions, communal sauna, our recovery lounge, our compression legs. So that's a chance to sit still again, but it's also really good for lymphatic drainage and for tired, sore muscles. And then the sauna, and you can mix and match. So you could do 2 saunas in the recovery lounge, or you could do a class, a sauna and recovery lounge. And it's just a really nice way to start going, what's going to happen when I give myself 3 sessions this week to slow down and notice what else turns up in my life? How do I go home and react after that?
That's good.
People talk about when they come to us, their calmness, their focus, their reactions for other stuff. I had a lady who was second in charge of 3 restaurants. She came to us so stressed, and she started saunaing every morning, private sauna every morning. She said and about the first weekend, I think it was, she went back to work. They had a staff meeting. All this stuff was going wrong. And she said she normally would have walked in there going, who's done this and who's done that? And she walked in, guys, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And they were
the
all like...
The nervous system improved?
Yeah, she was like, they were all like, what?
That's amazing.
What's wrong with her? And she's just said she's able to react to things differently because suddenly the nervous system is not like, everything's a danger. Fast paced and everything's busy and everything has to be like, and then we didn't get this and then we didn't get that. And so we intentionally slow down. You're telling your nervous system to slow down in areas of your life.
Yeah, that's cool. That's so many benefits. And I told my husband's got a voucher for his birthday from one of his mates. And that's so cool. And I was actually like very impressed. It's like a guy got it for a guy recovery about, like for O-Studio, like recovery, so whatever. I'm like, this is so cool. Like I was more impressed that it's, like dudes doing that and realizing how important it is.
We get a lot of guys in, and we had 3 guys in yesterday in the recovery lounge. They had their staff meeting, their business partners. They had their staff meeting in the recovery lounge doing
That's perfect. Yeah. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So, we often say, like, it's obviously better if you don't have your technology or whatever, but go into the sauna and you have your quiet time there, and then you come out and you do recovery, and then you just tinker away. That's fine too. Like, you're sitting down, you're stopping, you're giving yourself just that love.
A moment.
To be able to go out into the world completely different.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story and also explaining about the benefits of recovery and sauna and plunge and stuff like that, because I think it's going to be very beneficial for my audience. Females in their late 30s, 40s, 50s need to learn how to prioritize themselves and take care of the body and focus on recovery. So I really appreciate, and I think it's going to be very beneficial for them to learn. So education is the key. So I'm glad I didn't cancel our appointment today, and I've survived. Yay. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. That was, amazing. And if anybody wants to come and just have a chat, our staff are always really great at recommending stuff for people, especially if you're really feeling really burnt out. Like, we take really good care of you to just ease your way in quietly and carefully, and we don't just throw you in the sauna and stuff like that. We've got really good plans to help out. So, yeah.
Nice. If you have any questions about this podcast or about hormones, weight loss, or just healthier lifestyle, please go to our website at lifehackcoaching.co.nz or feel free to email me directly, Anastasia@lifehackcoaching.co.nz.